Hey everyone, we're here tonight with Metal Mike DeLeon, who plays in Phil Anselmo and the Illegals, Soulfly, Flesh Hoarder, and you've
Other
got,
stuff.
yeah, you've got, I don't know, three or four other hundred projects going on, I'm sure.
How you guys doing, man? Thank y'all. Thank you, Tom, and to everybody for having me on the podcast. I've been looking forward to this for a while now, and it's good to be here, man.
Yeah, dude, really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to, spend chatting and just give us like the rundown. So we're gonna start from the beginning because I'm a curious fuck. Um, what made you want to get into music?
Awesome. All right, let's start at the beginning. Uh, man, 3 years old. When I was 3 years old, that's when I knew I wanted to do music. I I remember that because I was like plucking away at my dad's, little acoustic guitar. I was 3 years old, 4 years old. 1986, my dad took me to see two concerts. My first concert ever. Nobody really knows this, but my first concert was Stevie Wonder. I saw Stevie Wonder April 16th, 1986. It was so awesome in Austin, Texas. And then a few months later, in December of '86, I was still four. I got to go see the David Lee Roth lineup right after Van Halen, and it was like Steve Vai, Billy Sheehan, David Lee Roth, and Greg Bissonette on the drums. And I was four, and I was like just taking all this music in. So for me, it was at a really young age, and if from then it was just Poison, Motley Crue, uh, Aerosmith, and just all these monstrous bands, at a really young age, just eating all this up. And then, a lot of Carlos Santana being played in the house, and, a lot of Eddie Van Halen being played in the house. So it's just music has always been there. And then around like 8 years old, I got my first real guitar, and it's been on ever since then.
Hell yeah, dude. And I feel like you've played in, so you've done live guitar for like Insight. You did some MOD. Uh
Awesome.
like you've done a lot of shit like in your life, which is fucking phenomenal.
It's crazy, man. To really sit back and think about it, which sometimes I do. I'll sit back and think about little points of my life, and where I've come from, point A to point B, and then some, to travel the world, and to make it back here in my hometown, and to 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 know, looking forward into the future, it's just gonna continue to keep on, staying busy and rocking and rolling, man. Lots of that to come, and lots of metal. So it's good, man. I love playing live. I love playing in various bands. It's such a great thing to do for a musician, to be able to, just like Phillip or Max, they love having outlets for a different emotion, a different feeling. It's some is hardcore, some is death metal, some is real peace and quiet. So it's really good to be able to be a musician, and to stay busy just doing different things. But yeah, it's been good. Just been jamming in a lot of bands, jamming with a lot of awesome musicians from all around, and a lot to look forward to into 2024, man.
Oh, for sure. And I feel like, you've done, one, you're a great guitar player. Um,
Thank you.
I was uh lucky enough to catch you with the Illegals playing with Slayer here in Louisville.
Okay.
And I took my daughter to that. And I'll tell you, when you guys got off stage, she was singing Walk the whole fucking time. I'm like, yeah.
Yes, that's great. Well, the band, especially Philip, but all of us, we love to hear those stories, man. Just all the generations, just feeling that heavy metal emotion, man, and that's great. That's awesome that she she was enjoying it, man. So that's great.
Well, and I think that's what brings us all together too, is like music, not just necessarily heavy metal, but like your first show, Stevie Wonder. Mine was Michael Jackson on the Thriller tour, you know?
Dude, we could spend an hour talking about that alone. That is awesome to hear, man. Here in the household, me and the wife are we're big Michael Jackson fans, and we'll throw on some of his tunes from time to time, and just getting that spirit, man, that upbeat, funky old spirit, man. So that's, man, what a show to have seen. That's awesome.
Yeah, I never got to see Stevie Wonder, so I'm like, oh man, I'm a little jealous there, right?
You still might have a chance. He's still with us, so
Yeah,
maybe one day, man. That'd be great.
yeah, we'll see. Um, so 2024 Soulfly's touring.
Yes, we have some shows announced already. We're playing a couple of festivals that just got announced, and we're going to be playing at the end of the year the Lamb of God Headbangers Boat, which I've never been on a cruise, and I've all of us guys, we see the metal cruises, lots of all sorts of cruises happening. So I'm excited to be on my first cruise, and for it to be the Headbangers Boat. It's just going to be a phenomenal time, and everybody just hangs out, it seems like, and enjoys a good time together. So we're doing that at the end of the year, and I'm sure there's going to be some more announcements sprinkled in here and there throughout the year for Soulfly. So it's great. And being a musician, like as myself, just I'm already getting booked in other projects already, that we'll be able to announce real soon. But I'm definitely going to be doing the Bay Area International again, which was something I was a part of a few years ago,
Yeah.
and we're going to be playing at Dynamo Fest in Holland in August, and it's going to be a phenomenal. It's just so many awesome players, and we come together and pay tribute to metal thrash of the past, and we everybody gets to jam. It's just such a good time. So that's coming up in a few months, so this summer. So I'm really looking forward to that, and just branching out and being able to jam, man. It's great.
That Headbangers Boat, man, that lineup is stacked, you know? I Hate God, Corrosion of Conformity, Soulfly, Exodus, of course, Lamb of God, Death Clock. Like, holy shit, man.
And the old school grinders, Napalm,
Napalm
Death.
Death. Yep.
So I can't absolutely wait. I've played with Napalm so many times in my life, all around the world. So to add the Headbangers Boat off the list, I mean, that's just going to be super cool. And then my brothers and I Hate God, I cannot wait. So it's going to be a good time, man. Hopefully we can get some party favors on that boat, because we're gonna want to be hanging, man. So I can't wait, man. It's gonna be a good time.
Yeah. I'm sure it'll be pretty easy going into the port in Miami. You just gotta watch that shit in the Dominican Republic.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll once we get there, we'll see how it
Well,
goes, man. It's gonna
yeah.
be.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be on that boat. I'm pretty stoked for that.
Oh, great, man. Well, I'll see you on there. We'll hit the buffet.
Yeah.
Let's hit the buffet.
Yeah.
I'm down. Let's do it,
It'll be
man.
good shit. So how did you get hooked up with Max and Phil?
Oh man. Okay. Well, like you mentioned earlier, I was jamming in MOD. So I was playing with Billy Milano, who in my life at that time was such a big legend, because I was such a big, still, a SOD fan, MOD fan. It's just old school crossover, and especially that SOD stuff. That was, that early material, that Speak English or Die album is still a legendary album. So
Yeah.
when I got the call to jam with Billy, and that was my first real big stepping stone, to get things going. And just got the phone call to want to go jam with Billy, to go jam some of those old songs. I jumped at the bit, being a young kid here in the Texas scene, man. I was ready to do my thing. I already had been jamming in my other band, which was called Disfigured, you know, since 2000. We were already playing the Texas circuit, so it was really really good to start jamming with some other guys. And so we were in Germany, and MOD and the Illegals crossed paths at this festival. And we hung out that day. I got to meet all the guys. Didn't really get to say much to Philip, but I remember meeting the other guys, and everybody in the Illegals was so awesome, super rad. And a lot of the guys were from Texas. So it was just like these little things were starting to connect, little by little. And a few months went by. I was working at a fast food spot in town, and I get the phone call, and it was from Steven Taylor, my brother from the Illegals. And he was like, Mike, we're looking for a guy. We need a new guy in the band. So and so. So this is going down. And I was so floored, to be able to go jam with, Philip Anselmo, such a prestigious, heavy metal legend,
Hmm.
so it was a really, really big deal coming from a young Texas kid to go jam with Phil Anselmo and the Illegals. Plus, it was like death metal. It was like extreme metal. It was black metal. It was a little bit of everything. So it was right up my alley, is what I want to say. It was like right up what I was already doing. So it couldn't have been a better timing and a better fit. One thing led to another with MOD, and the band kind of went our separate ways. And I was really bummed about that, because I really put a lot of my blood, sweat, and tears into that band. And when things fell apart, things really picked up. With Philip said it best. He said, when one door closes, another door opens. And that's exactly what happened. And a week later, from an email, I got an email a week later. I was at Philip's house at the Nosferatu's lair, the legendary lair, and I just couldn't believe it. I was jamming Deicide all the way down to Philip's house, jamming the Illegals, kind of just making sure I knew the material, but then a lot of Deicide in between. And it just we became family. It's just the best way to say it. To this day, I have a lot of love for my brother Philip. We're real close. We still keep in contact often. And now he's busy with Pantera, so it's everybody's happy. I'm happy for him. We kind of got to start things off with the Illegals. We kind of jump started a lot of that.
Yeah.
Nobody really knew it at the time, what was really going on or what was going to happen in the future, but we were already kind of getting the ball rolling, and it was an absolute honor, to be able to jump in those shoes for a period of my life and play, the dime bag, the king, man. He was on my walls as a kid, taped all over my walls. That's who I was into. My dad took me to see Pantera at a really young age, opening for Black Sabbath. So it was just, I was in the rafters looking down, seeing these guys. It was a big deal. So when I got the opportunity, it was super cool. And like I said, but jamming those songs was awesome. And now Philip's busy. He's doing his thing. Nothing but love for my brother and all the guys in Pantera. And while he's busy doing that, Soulfly has been busy, and they were busy with Dino from Fear Factory.
Saw that
Much
one.
love,
Yeah.
yeah, much love to Dino, man. Dude is, for me, again, such another big inspiration. That right hand attack that Dino has is like no other, So those are, all the guys in Soulfly, all the guitar players have all been great, great dudes. But a door kind of opened up in that position, and I was really eager to try to get my name in the hat when I kind of got word what was going on, that they were going to be looking for a guy. Um, it was about probably a little over a year ago, and I was just like, man, if I could just let them know that I want to jam. I really want to jam with Soulfly. It was, again, just looking back 20 years, I was, we were all just a young dude in the pit, going nuts for these huge legendary bands. So to get that opportunity. And I've met Max a few times. We've hung out, in the passing with Phillip, and just in metal. It's you meet all these awesome dudes, and everybody's just players. Everybody just wants to jam, and I got the opportunity, and it has been another dream, absolute dream come true to be jamming with Max Cavalera. It's so wild to even be saying that, and Sepultura was just another one of those bands as a kid, that was just pounding those riffs into my brain that just are everlasting, so it's really cool to be in that middle ground where I got Soulfly, and we're busy, and I really want to write some new material and put out an album with Soulfly. It would be another dream. And while Philip's busy doing his thing, doing Pantera, and when the time is right, the Illegals will get back to business, and we'll get back to grinding as well. So it's a really good position to be in, and I thank the metal gods up above, Rob Halford up above, just thanking the metal gods, man, that it's just been an absolute dream come true to be jamming with, these icons, that we all grew up listening to. So it's been awesome, man, and I just can't, I just enjoy it, man, to the fullest.
Yeah, I love it for you. I think it's great because you don't just get to, jam with one legend. You get two, in the heavy metal universe. Like those
Great.
are the people growing up. All of us were like, oh man, Pantera, Sepultura, like, oh, these are the fucking bands. Like I remember the first time I saw Sepultura, it was Sepultura, Biohazard, Danzig, and Ozzy.
Man, huge,
Like,
huge. That's
yeah,
a great. That's Danzig. What a whole nother hour of talking about how
yeah,
awesome the love for Danzig's music, man. Just the
yeah.
everlasting, man. So yeah, like I said, it's awesome, man. I try to stay as humble as possible, and and just stay grounded, because we're all just metal dudes, and it's just a big thank you to keep the metal dream alive, man.
Hell yeah. And you got, your wife supporting you and letting you go off and do all this is phenomenal, right? To have that support at home and to go out and be, I'll call it be a rock star, right? For a while and then come home and just be normal metal Mike, right?
That's for all musicians, it's so important to have that support. That's the best word for it. You know, that balance, that support, and to be able to have each other. I try to support her in all her ambitions that she wants to do. And when I'm home, I'm like, please go do this, please go do that. I got it. I'll hold it down. You've been holding it down while I've been doing the rock star thing, just like you said. And so it's great to have that support in your corner and have each other there to help balance the life out, because it could be a lot to handle sometimes. Schedules
Yeah.
get all crazy, so it's good to have great communication, and just try to make it work as best as you can, man, for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. Well, that's awesome. So, run us through like your live rig. What's that look like?
Oh, all right, great question. Right now, my live rig, I'm gonna be 100% honest with the whole rig right now. Let's start with the head. I am running through. I typically have been using the Mesa triple rec, but right now my Mesa is getting some things worked on and getting some new tubes and whatnot. So my live rig for the last few months lately have been EVH 5150. It's a beautiful old 50-watt head. It's pretty brand new, and it is so awesome. The tones out of that thing alone are great. So I have that I'm running through two Mesa 4x12s for my beef there, and then into my pedal board. My pedal board will consist of my power block, which is powering up the whole thing, into the old Boss chromatic tuner, right into the Digitech whammy pedal, which is, for all the dime bag stuff. And even in Soulfly, there's a lot of whammy pedal. It's really awesome pedal. And on the other half of the pedal is the D tuner. So if I want to change tunings and keep my guitar in the same tuning, I hit the button and it automatically changes the tuning out of the rig into the tuning I need it to be in. And lately, if I'm in A on my guitar and I need to go to B, I just put it, a full step down, hit the button, and it's coming. B is now coming right out, and it's still the tone is still there. It's ripping, and I'm still in my A. And then when I need to go back to those songs, I just hit the button, and now I'm back in my standard tuning. So I really like this Digitech pedal. It has a little bit of both. So that's a good question right there. Right into I just got the Neuro Quad Cortex. If you if it's it's the pedal right now. Lots and lots of bands, big bands, Meshuggah to the homies and Lamb of God to, I mean, the list goes on, are using the Quad Cortex. Megadeth, everybody's using the new Quad Cortex. I'm not gonna say it's Gojira's pedal, but the guys in Gojira and the company were really hand in hand when it came to designing the pedal. A lot of the tones and everything are really awesome, and really, you can do, it's a playground for this pedal. So I have this, I'm using that right now, and I'm sure a lot of guys are like, dude, that's the one. It's an awesome pedal, and I just got it about 2 months ago, so it's new to me. I'm playing around with it, but I definitely want to say the Quad Cortex. Also want to give a lot of love to my friends in Moore, because I've been using the Moore product for a long time. I'm still using the Moore product, and it's just not on my main live rig right now. Now I'm using the Quad Cortex. Right out of that's my pedal board right there. Everything basic, heavy, tones, crunch, not trying to add too much. I just want to keep it crunchy and heavy and simple. And then I'm running right into my Dean guitar, and I'm sponsored by the Dean, so I'm sending lots of love to the Dean. Dream come true to be with the family at Dean, and got some really cool things in the works coming from them as well here real soon. I cannot wait to spread, to share with the world. And but right now I'm running through a 7-string Exile. I absolutely love my Exile. It's my blue graphite looking guitar. You'll see a lot of photos with it. And then I have my backup guitar, which I call Salsa, because it looks like you're eating hot sauce. It's Salsa Brown, and it's a 7-string as well. And it's just a replica of the other one, and it's my backup. But I'm using the 7-string Exiles for my Soulfly rig. When I was with the Illegals, I was using my Dime Stealth, which was great, and then my 7-string ML, which was like a Dime style body. But right now with Soulfly, I'm using the 7 strings and rocking these Exiles, man. So that's pretty much my live rig. Strings, I'm using Ernie Ball strings, EMG pickups. I got some Food Tone stuff rocking in the guitar. Pig hog cables, inky cases, uh, and Richter guitar straps, man. Those are all my odds and ends, man. And I use lots of it, travel the world with all my gear. So check all those good, all those good products out, man, and delve into it. It's all good stuff to be to be checking out.
So you use the same rig across all the bands, including Flesh Hoarder?
Yes, I try to. I try to. With Flesh Hoarder, I'll scale things down. I won't use the whammy pedal. We don't do any of that stuff.
Sure.
I won't uh we won't, a couple of little odds and ends. Oh, I forgot to mention I have a wah wah pedal, the Morley wah wah pedal. That's in my pedal board rig as well. Just want to throw that back in there real quick for the wah wah. There's some Soulfly stuff that I gotta use it for, so I use the Morley, the old school Morley one, man. It keeps and holds the trust, man. So I gotta rock with what I know. And but for for different bands, I try to keep it the same. But with Flesh Hoarder, typically it's just meat and bones with
It,
that right there, because it's just chunk and death metal, man. So it's
yeah.
great.
Yeah, it's all good shit.
Yeah. I'm glad you like Flesh Holder, man. That's our band here in the Texas scene. And like I said, I was telling you earlier, we are working on a new album, our third album already, which is so phenomenal to say. We're all Mexican dudes that all been, knowing each other here in the scene for a long time, and we've all been jamming in different bands. So we've been this band for a while now. So it's good to have that brotherhood still there, and we all love each other, get along, and working on this new album together. It's great.
Hell yeah. And you guys did what Mexico Metal Fest last year, right? As Flesh Order?
Yeah, as the end of the year, we ended the year really strong, which was great. I was with Soulfly all summer, which was really busy. We were all over the world, and I got home on like a Tuesday, and by like Saturday, 4 days later, I was in a van with Flesh Hoarder already off to Arkansas because we did some of the Pantera Lamb of God shows.
Oh yeah.
That that was just super phenomenal to be a part of. It was like an amphitheater full of 1,000 people, man. And we're just I always tell everybody we're just a local death metal band. So it was great to be on a nice prestigious stage to go out and jam and display our form of death metal to like a big amount of folks, and big thanks again to Phillip, for bringing all that together for all the housecore bands. Then from those shows we had a little bit of time off, and then we went right into the Mexico Metal Fest, and we were there with like Exodus and Sodom. It was so sick, and Incantation, and so many great bands. And Slipknot was there too, man. And it was the final show with Jay Weinberg,
Jay.
which was a wild. We were on the airplane and we were all seeing on our phones, what was going down with that situation, and we were like, man, we played his last show. How it was just so wild, for it. But we were there, man, and we got to go jam Mexico. It was a great day, great performance, and we had a really good time, man. Can't wait to get back to Mexico.
How do you feel the Pantera crowd took you guys in on that on that little run you guys did?
Man, as weird as this is, and all the guys in Flesh Holder will say this, we did one Arkansas show and two Texas shows. We did three shows with the tour, which was awesome. But the Arkansas show, man, much love. Those guys threw down. Arkansas was awesome. Texas was great, you know. It, but Arkansas was just something about it. It was they raised the bar for us in general. They were really enjoying it. They went crazy. They bought merch. It was a really good performance. In Texas, it was awesome. It was really good to they a lot of our friends, a lot of our family, we had a lot of our support, in the crowd. So it was good to have everybody there and to see a lot of new faces and a lot of new blood taking it in, and the feedback was really really good on all ends. But Arkansas was the sickest one, man. Arkansas was awesome, man.
Hell yeah. That's so I caught that tour in Indianapolis and it was with Snafu opening, and
Okay.
I love those guys live. Every time I see them, I'm like going nuts, and I've got way too messed up during Snafu, and I don't remember Lamb of God or Pantera at all.
Oh man, I was just gonna ask what you thought of Pantera. What
Yeah,
you thought of.
it was it like terrible. I kicked myself for like 2 weeks after that, but I caught it at Louder Than Life, and it was
Awesome.
goosebumps. And I just had this conversation with another buddy of mine. Like there was a group of people in front of us and they were all, smoking some weed and everyone's drinking. And
Having a good time.
yeah, like the guy turns around and we're singing, I don't know, fucking Hostile maybe. And we just looked at each other and big bear hug, like, fuck yeah.
That's yes, that's the metal brotherhood right there, man. Those songs bringing you together, man. I just saw Zach a few nights ago. I went and saw Zach Sabbath in San Antonio, and they were phenomenal. Zach was so good. He's been doing the Aussie Black Sabbath stuff for so
So
long,
long.
but to see his band three dudes play this Black Sabbath set. I was trying to get as high as possible. I was like, let's enjoy this because this is as much Sabbath as you're gonna get right now. You don't really get to see Sabbath anymore.
Yeah.
So and they were so good, and the set list was so good. So it was good to see Zach. I talked to him for a little while after the show, hung out with the guys, my brother JD from the band after the show, and saw Zach and whatnot. But I think he's been doing a good job with Pantera. Much kudos to that all those four of those guys in the camp because they're bringing it back and bringing it and making it alive again for everybody.
Oh, I absolutely agree. And I don't think they could have picked two better guys to take those roles to take it out on the road. Like, Zach, of course, right? We've been listening to him for shit coming up on 40 years now.
Yep,
Same thing with
it's crazy.
Charlie.
Yeah, and with those guys, something I'll touch base with. I got to jam with those guys. I got to do the first jam with them, and the bass tone from across the room when I was just like this dude holding a guitar, and then there's Charlie Benante 5 feet behind these drums, and these drums were. It was like Neil Peart. It was like, whoa, look at all these beautiful drums, man. And Charlie, the rhythm, the thunder, I should say. Geez, it's so good. It's so precise. But then having Rex across the room, I've been jamming with Phillip, forever. So we knew each other, and it was, I knew it because he was jamming. But then jamming with Rex for the very first time and seeing him and us four dudes in this room, but then him plugging in that bass. And by day two, man, just feeling the bass under, just gurgling me inside, man, because it was so heavy and so much low end, and seeing him shining, playing these songs again.
Oh, did I
Really
lose
cool
you?
to help jumpstart all that,
Oh yeah.
for them and help them get them going again, man. And Zach coming in and doing this thing. So it's great, man. It's just to be there and be a part of that history though was, insane in the membrane.
Hell yeah. So live shows. So in all your years of performing live, what has been let's say the top couple of shows that really stick out as like that was fucking out of this world.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna twist this one a little bit. I'm gonna pick a show with each band. I've
Okay.
never done this. Let's go with each band. Okay, Flesh Hoarder. Man, Flesh Hoarder. Let's see. What's one of the wildest shows? Oh, we've opened so many. Okay, when Flesh Hoarder opened up for Super Joint Ritual, actually, Super Joint in Austin, Texas. That was an awesome performance, awesome show. Small club, pit. That one for Flesh Hoarder. Man, that was a rare one too.
Which
Soulfly.
so who else was on that with Superjoint? Was that the Battlecross Child Bite
It,
Superjoint tour?
I think it was with either with King Parrot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, King Parrot,
And
uh,
and
and
Des
someone else.
it was Des Fafara.
Yeah, with Devil Driver.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yes. Um, with Soulfly, let's see. Man, it's been some awesome shows with Soulfly. We've had some good ones. I'll say the show that we had in Athens, Greece. Me and Max got to watch um, Tom G. Warrior from Celtic Frost do a whole Celtic Frost set right before Soulfly. And me and him were just jamming together, watching Tom G. It was with Triptychon, watching Triptychon just go off. And then we went on, and it was Athens, Greece. Beautiful scenery outside on the waterfront. It was an amazing performance that night too. So I'll pick that one. With Phil and the Illegals, Man, that's a really easy one because I'll always stand true to the time we got to play opening on the Slayer tour, but we got to play Madison Square Garden in New York City. It was such a, so the whole day, but that experience walking in with my guitar and seeing Cher and Billy Joel and all these stars on these beautiful photos on the wall, and I'm walking in like, what am I doing at at this place? And it was sold out, and you had Primus, Ministry, and Slayer. And they said by the time the Illegals got off doing the Pantera set, there was 80% of the venue was already filled up.
Fuck
So it's
yeah.
good to know that the support was there early in the night. And, we were trying to rage as hard as we could. So with the Illegals, I'll go with the MSG show. With Soulfly, Athens, Greece, and with Flesh Hoarder, Austin, Texas, opening for Superjoint, man. Three awesome shows, three different bands, man.
Fuck yeah. That I think that's really awesome that you guys got to play, or that you got to play that the end of the fucking Slayer, final tour. How mind blowing is
Crazy.
that?
There was 8 legs on that tour. There was 8 tours that
Yeah.
they did in America over a 2-year period. They did 8 tours. So I would have never have thought in any of those tours that I'd be on any of those tours. I know the Illegals were jamming, but everybody was jamming. Everybody was busy. But then when word started to get out in the camp between just a small little amount of people, hey, this might be happening, or yo, this might be happening. And I'm just like, what are y'all talking what are y'all talking about here? And then when the word really got out, you guys are doing the final tour and y'all are opening, it was just a moment, to be on that last one, and to think about that 30-day month, that November, from November the 1st to November 30th, and playing those 2 last shows at the sold out at the
LA.
Forum in Los Angeles. Yeah, I mean, it was a who's who backstage. It was like, wow, look at all these people. But the shows and the emotion that was really floating around between the bands on the run, and especially Slayer. And honestly, Phillip too, seeing how he was going that day, knowing it was the final day. I could see he was feeling it. it
Yeah.
was a it was a very emotional thing to be a part of, and history, to and then I was talking to Kerry a few weeks ago. I was texting with Kerry, and I was telling him, yo, bro, I got to play your final show with Slayer, and I also get to play your first show
Show with
with
Carrie.
your new band. And it's mind blowing. It's mind blowing, man. Just to be there for this history. To me, it's just like, man, I'm very thankful and lucky, and excited, man, to see this go down, and just to see it all go down. And I'm just a kid, man. I want to get in that pit and tear some shit up, man. And so it's real cool, and I'm really excited for it. For Slayer, I'm sure many people like me around the world over miss Slayer, man. I took my son to see one of the final tours, and he was like 4 years old. So I was really and thankful that he got to see them once. So I miss Slayer though. I miss him a
Yeah.
bunch.
Me too. I was like, when when they announced the show here in Louisville, I was like, all right, I'm going. Absolutely. My daughter, who I think she was 12 at the time, she had just turned 12, and I was like, let's go. She said, all right, cool. And she had a great
Oh,
time. And it was, such a wild bill with, of course, you guys, Slayer, but Primus. Like they were kind of the weirdos on the bill, but they put on such a great fucking show.
man, Primus alone, like I walked into that tour. Honestly, I wasn't that big of a fan. I wasn't the biggest Primus fan. Um, but I walked out of that tour the biggest Primus fan. Like me and Philip and Kate, a lot of us every night would finish what we were doing. We would shower, and then we would try to make our way out, and we would go watch in a little spot somewhere in the darkness. We would watch Primus, man, and they were so good every night. And now, anytime any of the projects from any of the three guys come in the area, I'm always there. I try to go see Les. I'll go try to go see Lur. I'll try to still keep in touch, and because they're such phenomenal players. It's just I was blown away. Ministry too, man, just became brothers with those guys. Still keep in touch, and still they were at Mexico with Flesh Hoarder. They
Yeah.
played the same day we were, so we were all at the airport together, and just awesome dudes and legendary music, man, from all the bands. Just legendary music that will live on, man.
Yeah, I'm glad Al got off the H, man. That shit was gonna do him bad.
I got to smoke some weed with Al a couple times, and I just thought it was the coolest. Him sitting next to me on a bus, and we're hitting a weed cart, and it's like the new thing. It was 4 years ago, so not many people were doing carts, and
Right.
it was just cool, just getting high, talking stories, and it was Al Jorgensen, man. Just hearing stories from him was awesome, man. Cool cat,
Yeah.
cool dude.
Oh, dude, I bet he's got some wild, wild stories.
Yes, he has that book out that has some crazy story. I haven't read it, but I've heard about it. I'd like to read it myself because he's a good dude. I really like Al. I honestly would love to do some music with him. And I told him that last time I saw him. I said, man, let's do a song together. One song. Let's just get in the studio and write a song together and see what happens. So I always say, you never know. You never know. One day I get a call and I'm in the studio with Al or something, man, because you never know. I would really like to do something heavy and old school with him, man. It'd be fun.
Well, you're right. You never know, right? And if you never try, it'll never happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so true, Tom. And even if you get told no or it doesn't happen, at least you got to voice your opinion or voice your emotion or feeling and let that out. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you got to get it off your chest, man. You got to.
That's for sure. So, what are you listening to right now that's like that you're just head over heels in love with?
Awesome, man. Well, let's see, what am I listening to right now? Honestly, lately I've been going back and I've been listening to a lot of old Hatebreed. Been
Oh,
jamming some early Hatebreed, man. I love the first couple of albums, man. Sacrifice or the blue album cover, man.
yeah. I know what you're talking about because I
Yeah,
just
survival, yes.
yes.
That album, and then Perseverance. I've been jamming that. Been jamming a lot of old Crowbar, but then I've also been writing a lot of music. So lately in the car, I've been listening to a lot of my own demos just to kind of see what I like and what I don't like. I got a lot of stuff that I'm writing for a new project. I'll get into this a little bit. I can't get into it too much because it's still pretty brand new and fresh. And but I'll talk to you about it a little bit more and let you know a little bit more once we're done here. But there's gonna be a new band on the horizon, man, and I'm trying to get some good guys together, man. Right now it's just three of us. We're looking for another dude, maybe two more, but it's gonna be something that it's gonna be on the lookout for. It's not gonna be one genre. I don't want to be one genre. I want to be able to have a little bit of everything in it. Some slow stuff, some heavy stuff, some fast thrash metal, but a band that could touch a little bit of all bases and everybody can get a little something out of, man. And working on something with a couple of guys in my area and very thankful for these couple of dudes because it's going to be something that when we come together, it's going to be good. So I've been jamming a lot of the demos right now and kind of listening to a lot of that. But when I'm not, some Crowbar and some Hatebreed, man.
Love
Death
some.
is death is something that satisfaction of the. Now I'm trying to
Huh.
remember the name of the first Hatebreed. I love that album. I just got it on vinyl,
Huh.
man.
I'm gonna look. It's like satisfaction is the death of desire or something like
Desire.
that.
Yeah, that's it right there. They're
Uh,
gonna look at me and they're gonna they're gonna punch me next time they see. They're gonna be like, "You fool." I
Uh,
love that album though, man, and I get a lot of inspiration. I'll pay it back. I couldn't remember the exact name, but
yes.
I'm getting a lot of inspiration from that album and some of this new music that I'm doing. So I'm definitely want to pay some tribute back to that first and second Hey Breed album, man. Those are some classics for me and my younger self, man. So a
Yeah.
lot of that, and like I said, mixed with some Crowbar and the slower, more heavier, riff, the more important style riffing, and it's not just whatever thrown. It's very thought out and whatnot, and want to make it catchy and heavy, man. So working on some new stuff. I'll let you know about, man. But I can't wait to for all of us to be able to announce, the guys and what we've got going on, because I think it's going to be a big deal. I think a lot of people in the metal world will be like, man, this will be something to look forward to because it's some good dudes, man. So it'll be cool.
Hell yeah, I'm excited. I just love finding new music. So like anytime a guitar player that I like or drummer or whatever, it's like, oh, I got this new thing. I'm like, oh, I want to hear some of that shit like as soon
Totally.
as I
I'll keep you
can.
in the loop. I'll keep you in the loop when I got some new tunes, man. I'll be like, check this out, man. For sure, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. I appreciate that. That'll be a lot of fun. So when do you head back out with Soulfly? I feel like you guys are just out in a few weeks, right?
We got well, right now Max is out with his other band, Go Ahead
Go
and
ahead and
Die,
die.
brand new band. Yeah, they're actually playing. It's Tuesday. They're playing on Friday. So I'm gonna take my 9 year old, my little metalhead. Me and him are gonna go out and watch the show and say hi to everybody. And then with Soulfly, it looks like we're going to get busy in May, which is great because I have some time at home to work on this other project and to continue to write for Soulfly. So it's going to be good. I already have a couple demos ready to go. I'm going to show Max on Friday and be like, check this out. I want to bring back the old style of almost new metal of Soulfly. Not necessarily new metal, but the groove, I should say, the
Yeah.
old groove. I want to bring that back, man, and focus on that, and let's slam in that pit, man. You know what I mean? Let's get in there and let's tear it up. So I want to bring that back, and you can hear it with what I'm focusing on. So it's good, and that we have some shows in May, a couple of big festivals, and then one at the end of the year. I got some other stuff lining up. I got a show in June. I'm gonna be announcing soon with some old school Bay Area dudes, and then with the Bay Area International in August in Dynamo, and a whole bunch of other stuff sprinkled in between, man. So I can't wait to announce more things as I get the approval on
Yeah.
everybody's end to say some more stuff. But definitely staying busy, and in between every event, I'm at home and I'm always writing, and just even if it's for myself, I have a lot of bluesy, Santana-y stuff. It's just my own little thing. So I'm always keeping busy. But this year it seems to be I'm writing for a lot of different things. So it's I can't wait to get all that out. It's gonna be
Hell,
good.
hell yeah, stay creative, dude. That's
Got
you've
to.
you've really got to. I just read an article earlier about when Newsted left Metallica. It was like, oh, like I knew he left because he wasn't happy, but I never really dug into it. But he was trying to do whatever that alt band was, and of course
The
James,
guy
yeah, they were like,
not
no,
having it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he showed up to the award show, and that was kind of it. They nothing else matters, and he kind of gave a final goodbye, which look in retrospect, you look at it and you're like, oh man, I didn't realize that was really happening at the time.
And it was. He was saying bye.
Yeah,
Speaking of Jason Newsted, I was just talking about the place that he got the offer. There's a spot in San Francisco called Tommy's. I think it's Tommy's Joint. And it's like a restaurant, Hofbrau restaurant style slash bar. And I was there about a year or two ago and totally fell in love with Tommy's. The vibe, the food, it's like no other. And I get to go back to San Francisco in June, and I cannot wait to go back to Tommy's. And I always just tie it into the place that Jason Newsted got the offer, I think in the restroom stall or something like that. I think something like that. I just know he got the offer there at Tommy's to join Metallica, and I just tie that in with the restaurant anytime I'm in there, and I can't wait to go back to that spot. And one more thing about Metallica, my all-time favorite band, man. I can't say enough about how awesome Metallica is, and everybody knows it's just my all-time favorite band. They've always given back, and been real supportive of metal, and and everything in between, man. So much, so much.
Yeah, and it's always, it's so funny. The older I get, the more I realize, I was one of those guys that was like, after Justice, I was like, oh, it's not old Metallica, it's not Justice, it's not Master, it's not Ride the
Yes,
Lightning.
Ride the Lightning.
But
Yes,
but then you look at it and like Kill 'Em All was thrashy, and then they go a lot more orchestrated, right? And of course, that natural progression, and then Justice was super, super dark.
my favorite album is Justice. Of
Mine
all the
too.
albums, my favorite one is Justice. It's just pounding. It from Blackened to Dyer's Eve. It's just a pounding album. It's different. It's so different from all the other albums. It's it has its acoustic, but it's just unrelenting on the fast riffs, man. It's hard to play,
Yeah.
because it's so fast, man. But yeah, Justice is my favorite one. But like as you say, even Death Magnetic, which came out like in '08 or '09, I really like that album, and it's kind of an overlooked Metallica album, but there's some really good riffs on that disc, and even Hardwired when that came out like in 2016, 2017 or something, another great album, and it's just another riffy good album. So, I
Yeah.
appreciate a good riff, man. So
Yeah, I
it
feel like the older they get, the more they get back to, I don't know, I'm not gonna say early Metallica, but they have that same like drive and feeling, right? You see them getting alive again with it. Even, 72 Seasons was, pretty solid.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. It was you could tell, like just like you said, they're having fun. And that's the
Yeah.
important thing. You know what I mean? You can wrap it up all into that. You can hear the fun that they're having in those riffs, and it's great. It's good. It's what with what they need is what we need. So it's really, really cool. Earlier this year, I got to ride on the bus with Phillip from Houston to Dallas. So this is a story I've never told anybody, but I jumped on the bus with Phillip after a Houston show. The Flesh Hoarder opened. We played the show. Pantera played. The night is over, and me and Phillip get on the bus, and now we're headed to a Metallica Pantera show. So it's an off day for our tour, but I wanted to see the Metallica Pantera show. Mammoth. I cannot leave out my brothers in Mammoth. Those guys rule. Uh, all the guys, just super cool dudes. Um, but it was them three bands. I jumped in the bus with Phillip. We had a mosh pit, a two-man mosh pit at the back of the bus. Phillip was jamming this obscure, I mean, bands I never heard of, thrash metal from Canada. It was just like, I mean, it was rare bands. It was awesome, and he was he was having fun. I was having fun, and we were just enjoying the moment, getting rowdy. The back of the bus. We went to bed. I woke up the next morning. Now we're at Arlington Stadium where the Dallas Cowboys play. It's a whole different ball game from the night before. Now we're at this 100,000 something capacity venue. It's a stadium. It's so big. Metallica is in the building. We wake up. Um, we get in this cart and we're being ushered into the building. It's just a few of us, and I remember we're going to Phillip's dressing room. I'm just sitting in the back of this cart, and we're passing all this stuff. And I look in the dressing in the catering room, and there's Kirk Hammett. I'm like, man, Kirk Hammett's right in there. He's in the catering room right there. And I'm just holding my backpack. We get to Phillip's room, and later on that day, a lot. We're hanging at the stadium. Later in the day, I got to sound check with the guys. Zach was running a little late on something, so they needed a guy to play sound check a song, and it was Charlie, Rex, and Phillip, just like we did a year before. But now we're on Metallica's stage, and I'm on the stage, and I'm holding Zach's guitar, and we're playing in this stadium, and we're playing Walk, and I'm just like, what is going on? I'm trying my best to not mess up because I can't comprehend almost what is going on. I'm like, literally, I better play this right because this, I didn't expect this whatsoever, but now here I am. I got to do this. And we did it. And Zach walked up, Zach took the guitar over, they did their thing. And I remember walking over to Lars's drum set, his yellow drum set, and it was right in front of me. And I took a picture, and you can see it on my Instagram, but I took a photo, and I'm standing on the Metallica stage in front of the 72 Seasons drum set. And I'm just like, and I'm telling you, it's like a kid in a candy store being on that stage alone, just jamming with Pantera, but just being on a Metallica stage. It's just like, what is going on? And we know what is going on right now. This is crazy, and it was just a moment that I'll never ever forget. I think I called my mom and my dad when I was done with all that. It was like, Mom, like I just played the Dallas Cowboys stadium, it was empty, but I just got to play the stadium and look around and just see thousands and thousands of seats. And it was just a moment, man. It was just something I've never talked about until right now. I've never discussed that or with anybody. It's been almost something I've kept in, so it's cool to think about it and to stir up those thoughts and emotions again. But just to be on that Metallica stage is the point, and I just could not believe I got there. It was so cool, man.
Did you ever think in your wildest imagination you would be in that position?
Even after all the things I've done, no, I don't think I ever was like, oh, I'm gonna play a Metallica stage. Nobody thinks that. Nobody's like, oh, I'm gonna go play the Metallica stage one day because I never thought that. My dream was to always share the stage with Metallica. All right, we'll play a festival, we'll play a show. They'll be on the same bill or something at a festival, but never to be on their grounds, on their stage, on in their room. It was just a whole different situations, and I would have never thought that in my wildest dreams. And then to be playing with Charlie Benante, Rex, and Phillip on their stage was just a whole, like I said, it's just something you don't ever think is ever going to happen, but it does.
Yeah,
But it does. It's crazy.
that's the shit dreams are made of, you
It
know?
is, man. It is. And like I said, I thank every day for just being a part of this world, being a part of it all, And I tell everybody, and everybody that knows me personally will tell you, I try to stay positive. I try to be the bright guy out of the situation. If things are bad, it sucks, I know, but I still try to look at the bright side of the situation, and try to bring that into the positivity into the to whatever situation. So I just like being that guy and going with the flow, I always say, and just playing my absolute heart out and just ripping shreds and having fun and enjoying the moment, being a fan of music, giving back with the fans, being there with the fans, watching shows and playing shows. It's a moment, and it's something that I live for, slash my family, which I live for even more so. I take care of my family, got to make sure that they're okay, and then I go out and rock it, man. So it's a great balance, and I just try to do the best I can to make everybody as happy and myself, man. It's good.
Yeah, I think you got a lot of people rooting for you to keep going and get play bigger and bigger and bigger. And I've followed you, I don't know, for a few years now, and to watch your progression, I love it. Every time it's like, oh, Mike's doing this. I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Like I love to see people succeed and whatever that is, right? Like if you just want to be a
Just
manager, but
even
you know,
you're totally right, and that goes. A lot of that happens even behind the scenes that not too many people know about. Us guys, we in the in this in the us. What do I call it? Somebody that you work with. There's a word for it. Well, us dudes here in the jam, us dudes in the scene, we all support each other. And when something big happens for somebody, we're messaging each other and saying, "Man, I'm so happy for you that you're doing this or you're doing that," because the camaraderie is definitely a big thing, and it's not good to be like, "Man, fuck that," or whatever
right?
with that, you know so and so is doing something, man, be happy for him because it's good. It's good for everybody, and it's good, And in 2024, and I'm looking forward to, like I said, letting some things out because I got some things in the works too, man. That's gonna be badass. So I can't wait to get out and share with everybody. But the support, gotta support each other, man.
For sure. I think the biggest thing is, we when we come together, right, we get a lot further than when we do it on our own.
Totally. And that's even with your husband, your wife, boyfriend, and girlfriend, or whoever you're with. You work together, you're going to succeed and you're going to get farther than being, alone. And, you'll still do things, but it's always good to, come together and move forward because you'll get further, man, for sure.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, Mike, we've talked a lot. I know you've got a lot going on. You want to have some family time tonight. Uh, so I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking time out of your schedule to come and chat with me so we can, get this out there and I don't know,
This is
just
a good one. It's a good talk tonight, man. Had a good time talking to you. On my end, just want to say thanks to everyone who's gonna view this, who's gonna check it on out, man. And hopefully you enjoy it, man. And spread the word. A lot to look forward to. If you see me at a show, you see me floating around, come say what's up. I'm always down to talk and hang out, man. And a lot to look forward to. A lot of music coming my way in 2024, and then some instruments and other things. So as things move forward, I'll be able to announce. If you want to follow me, anybody and everybody, my Instagram is at Metal Mike 512. I'm always putting all my stuff there, and I'm on Facebook, and usually we'll put my stuff on there too, man. So I'm pretty accessible, and if you need me, just reach out and support metal and smoke the good weed. Got
awesome.
to.
Hell yeah. Have a great night, Mike.
Cheers, man. Thank you so much. Cheers, you guys.